So this is not going to be easy, but I guess I owe you guys something. I mean, I've got over 700 followers, thanks to you. I haven't talked in a while, I know. But it's pretty hard to talk about stuff when you're not allowed to and you're not even in like a good emotional state to talk about anything. So, first things first. I got divorced and I had to leave the US because of that. So these are the results. You don't have to watch the video if you just wanted to know like the outcome, because I'm pretty sure that this is going to be like a long video, because I decided to tell you guys like my story and what happened. So if you need to do the dishes or the laundry or need to go take the bus or train or whatever, put on your headphones and just listen to it. I don't think there's much sense in watching me. I can't promise not to cry. It's pretty hard for me to talk about all of what happened. So before I'm gonna tell you how my life in Oregon was, I want to go back one step further to tell you about my life before that. As you might remember, I said goodbye to Travis at the beginning of January in 2020. And I moved to Sylt, remember, like this little island where I was working like in a youth hostel. And just to be like super clear, Travis and we did plan like to see each other again maybe 4 or 5 months later, and then probably September, October, I would come over to the US to live with him and have my valid visa on hand. So in 2 months after he departed, COVID happened. And then everything else happened, like the travel ban, and that all embassies closed down and no visa was processed nowhere. So for me, this whole time when we couldn't see each other was like going through hell. None of us, neither Travis nor I, we were made like for a long distance relationship. But suddenly we were so stuck in a situation we both did not want to, and there was like no way that we could meet each other or whatsoever. And he tried to make the best out of it, and I think he did a pretty good job, and I tried to do the best, but I did not so good, because I can't cope with situations like this. So I was crying a lot, I was complaining a lot, I was having like a really hard time. My first boxes were already shipped to Oregon. Like when I finally arrived in the US, there was like stuff in the boxes that I hadn't seen for like almost 2 years. That was pretty crazy. So like from the emotionally point of view, I was like super stressed out, and I had no more energy to do this any further along. And then like in November 2020, we decided to join the lawsuit, as many other K1 fiancé visa holders did. I mean, they were not visa holders by then, but we were all trying to get a visa. We won the lawsuit. We paid a lot of money to the US attorneys. I mean, thank God they are there, but holy shit, all that money. And then I had to go over Mexico because I was still not allowed to travel directly, although they changed it like a couple of days before I left Germany. But I still had to take this flight to Cancun. Yeah, I couldn't rebook everything or cancel like my Airbnb, hotel, whatever. So, and when Travis picked me up at the airport, we already had like our first fight. And from that point on, it all started to going like downwards. But it's not that we had our first fight there. We were fighting a lot before that. In the 16 months we were not able to see each other. We were fighting a lot when I was in Mexico, and I was like, I mean, seriously, I'm about to come to the US to live with you, and I was so fucking angry sometimes, and he also with me. But both of us were like super sure that things will work out for good once I'm there, because it was just not good for the both of us anymore, just to be so far apart. And there was so much love between us. There was, like, really there was. So we did everything we had to do when I was there. And one thing we had to do was to get married, better sooner than later, so that I could file for my adjustment of status. That's like the kind of process you have to go through from then on. I guess many of you know the show like 90 Day Fiancé. Our relationship was not so trashy, but I mean, the outcome is pretty much the same. Everything's ruined. And I don't know. It was super difficult for the both of us. I wanted to marry him because I love him. He did not want to marry me. He did it because he had to. And I think maybe that's one of the points where now in retrospective one can say, well, that's not super clever. It's not that he did not want to marry me, but when you look at it, I mean, he was married before, and it was not long since he got like officially divorced. So he was just not ready for a new marriage. It's not that he was not ready for a new relationship or something. So, but yeah, he did it, and I did it. I filed for my adjustment of status, and we were trying really hard, the both of us, to find back our way together. Like we were trying somehow to continue where we both left off in 2019, when everything was pretty between us, when we were so much in love, and when we were so happy, and when we were making videos and telling all our friends, and when I was like the happiest and luckiest guy in the whole fucking world. And I really thought that I could get this feeling back that I had in 2019 with him. But it didn't come back. It was a pretty hard reality that we both crushed into. He was kind of starting to settling down, like in the new house that he bought like months before. I mean, actually, I don't want to say it's my house, but I paid for it. And he was living there with one of his best friends, Harley, and they were preparing the house and making everything clean and nice. So they already had like theirs, and then I came over there, and I felt more like some kind of guest. I did not feel like I was Trevor's boyfriend or his fiancée, or even after our marriage, I I did not have the feeling that I was his husband. I was more some kind of guest who is living there and trying to find his own space and trying to fit in so many ways, while they just had their life, and they were trying to integrate me, but I just didn't know how to fit in. And then Travis had just a brand new job that was like super stressful for him and for our relationship, that everything was new. And it started like right when I was arriving in Oregon. And then we had the little puppy, because Travis decided like back in February to get a little puppy. And she was like so small and so cute. And she needed like all of the attention 24/7. So there was no really relationship time for Travis and me. And that was super hard for me, because after I have not been able to see my fiance for like 16 months, that's all I wanted, like to have quality time with my fiance and with my husband. When Travis and I were talking about like how things went down the road, we both had like the same question. So if we really had a chance to survive like the long distance thing, and with all the struggles that we had in the beginning when I arrived. So I had no work permit. I was home constantly. I had no friends, and I never made any in the US because of COVID. We couldn't go anywhere. So I was also stuck like 24/7 in his house. Did we even had a chance? Maybe not. I don't know. It's pretty hard to tell by now. It's pretty hard. We were fighting a lot for this relationship. We did. None of us wanted to give up. And maybe that's what makes it so hard after all. But it was not only that we were fighting a lot for the marriage, we were also fighting a lot with each other. There was so much shouting and crying and trying to understand each other and trying to figure out if we still have like the same values, because it felt like we were totally apart. I don't know how many times I told him that he is not the person anymore that I met in 2019. And I don't know how many times he said that he did not feel loved by me. And I said, I feel not appreciated. And we were just running circles. It was just so hard. Because we were trying so hard, and it was heartbreaking to live this reality after we have been through so much together, like before that. Like we survived all this COVID shit and the long distance shit and the visa shit and everything, and we were trying. We were really, really trying. And it's like the saddest thing if you suddenly realize that that you just can't win. You can't win this fight. And I was loving this life there. I loved the house. I mean, I picked it. I told Travis, just fucking go there. This is the property. This is where we're going to live. I loved that we had like horses back there, and I loved what Travis did on the property with all his stone walls and all the flowers, and I loved how much we did like farming in that summer, planted so many vegetables, and going to farmers market and selling them. I had so much fun with Harley every time we went shopping together with his like super broken hipster car. Harley's just the cutest guy ever with such a big heart. Um, I just loved talking to him alone. So every time he was like together with Travis, both of them were just too much for me, and I just didn't know how to fit in. But when I was alone with Holly, oh man, we had so much fun, and I could ask him anything, and he was always friendly, and he never judged me, and he never said how weird I am or whatever. And when we were together at the Otis market and selling some of our farm stuff, it was just so nice because um, I developed some kind of how do you say that? I mean, it's not like a hobby, but I always loved to bake. But then I did it like on a regularity basis and baked German apple pies, and I baked dog cookies and yeah, stuff like that. And we were selling that like as an opener to our customers, to get them interested in our farm. Then I was starting like the whole microgreens thing, and I was really thinking that it might be a good business idea for our farm. And it's not only Harley, with whom I had like a great time. I also love Travis' family, like his mom and his sister, and even his crazy dad is kind of kind of funny. I mean, they were all like super nice and so welcoming, and so I I felt like this could be home. This could be like the place where I really want to be. And I wanted to be there together with Travis. And the the more we fight it, the more it broke my heart because like everything was falling apart. Travis and I, we both agreed that we do not talk about details on social media. And I think that's like the best idea because well, that's our privacy, is our private life. So, and this video is also, it's not about fault. It's not about who did what, when wrong. This video is it's just for you. So I'm just telling my story, and no one in the whole wide world can forbid me to tell in public how heartbroken I am. So, and that's my decision if I want to go this way. When things started to go down further the road, I had contact to my closest friends in Germany. So I had like several Skype dates, like with a gay couple, and like my ex actually, like well, the ex before Travis, so my ex-girlfriend. Um, they were like the closest people I was talking to a lot. And in the first months, I was still trying to explain to them that, well, I know it does not sound super good what I'm saying, but we're still trying. Both of us, we're trying, and it would just take some time and everything will work out. But they were already saying, like, Toby, get the hell out of there. Go pack your stuff and buy a fucking ticket and get yourself back to Germany. But I was not ready. I wasn't. And it really took me a while to realize that I at least have to think about the possibility that maybe I need to go back. But I did not want to. I'm still saying that. I don't know when the final day arrived that I realized that I need to do what I had to do, because like there were so many other circumstances, so you can't say like it was me alone who decided that. It took me until summer to unpack my boxes in Oregon, because there was like not enough space for my stuff to go anywhere. And when I first packed them, I moved to the trailer on the property, and the next time I packed them to move to his mom's house, and by then it was already decided. That was like, I don't know, a couple of weeks later. And then I got the divorce papers, and then we both signed them. I had to pack my boxes again to make them ready for their journey back to Germany. I had to throw things away because I did not have the money to get all of my stuff back. Like, there were canvas pictures I had for, I don't know, like 20 years, and I just couldn't afford it to send it back, and well, I had to throw it like in the garbage bin. I had to sell my car. At least I got some money for it, so I could pay for my flight back to Germany. And Travis and I, we were not able to say goodbye to each other in person, because like a couple of days before my flight, he had a flat tire, so, and I had sold my car, so there was no way that we could see each other, which was pretty sad. And the last time before that, when I saw Poppins, it was just breaking my heart to leave her and to leave him. But I had to, because Travis wanted me to, so, I mean, it was, as I said, it's not that it was only his decision or only mine, so there was just no way that I could stay. I wish there would have been. I was always hoping for that. I was always wishing for that. Like, every day I've been praying to God so much. When I was still in Oregon, I was already like applying for jobs in Germany, and I had a really successful job interview via Zoom while I was still there. Like, in the darkest moment of my life, having like a really good job interview, I was just giving it all. I was like, I have nothing left to lose, so I applied for a job as a teacher, as a religious teacher at a vocational school for people between 16 and 40. So 90% of them, over 90% are men. It's a technical vocational school. Then I got, I don't know, there's this one story right before my flight. I don't know if any of you guys is into tarot cards or any kind of spiritual universe energy whatsoever. Sometimes I only do it for fun. I mean, I don't really have serious intentions with it. But I mean, that's the thing. Like when you are playing with all these energies around you in the world and universe, you should be careful what kind of questions you ask, because if you don't want to hear the answer, then you better not ask. And I don't even know what my question was. It was some kind of, I thought it was some kind of character reading, and it was supposed to tell me something about my strengths, or I don't even know. But the outcome was kind of freaking me out, because like the cards said, and this was like 4 days before my flight, the card said something like, I still have this text somewhere. I have a really important journey lying in front of me. It's a really important step in my life. But some things are going to happen. And the card said, I'm about to take a plane, but the plane will not depart for some security reasons, and that there is like a hole in the space-time, and I should be really careful, but everything will turn out fine. I was just reading that. It was like, I mean, come on. 4 days before my flight, that's definitely something I don't want to hear. So I told Travis' mom about this when she was coming back from work. I was like, hey, yeah, you want to know here? You want to know a funny story? And she was like, well, we'll see. So in the morning of my flight, I had to get up really early to get like the airport shuttle to get me up to Portland. And when I woke up and drank my first coffee, and I was sitting out in the out on the front porch in the darkness, when I switched on my phone from flight mode, I instantly got an email from Lufthansa telling me that my flight will not depart from Seattle to Germany. So I had like one flight from Portland to Seattle, like PDX Seattle, and then like a connecting flight from Seattle to Germany. Yeah, and this flight to Germany was cancelled due to some security issues. I mean, you can say what you want. I was just sitting there and I was kind of laughing. I mean, I had cried the last 5 weeks before that, like constantly nonstop. And when Trevor's mom woke up to get me to the airport shuttle, I was like, you know what? I would just fly to Seattle today, and I would just see how things would go from there. So yeah, I had to stay overnight in Seattle. And let me tell you what, when I was at PDX, if there really was some kind of whole loop whatsoever in space-time, I could feel that. I was standing right there where Travis had picked me up, like in April. And then it was like the end of November. And I felt like totally lost, like in some parallel universe. It felt like so super strange to be there. And while I was walking on the long hallways of the airport, I constantly thought that something is not right here, and that I'm going into the wrong direction. I mean, seriously, I was going into a plane and not coming out of one, and for some moments I thought, I mean, was this all just a fucking nightmare dream, and I'm about to wake up? And I think this is still a point that I'm thinking about. Everything that happened here there still feels like a dream, and sometimes still now in May I get the feeling, like there are days when I wake up and I feel like I'm still going to leave for Oregon. That none of this has really happened. It's like super, super strange. Um, it also happened like, I don't know, I mean, it's been 1 or 2 months by now that I dreamt about talking to Travis and Poppins on the phone and whatsoever, and we were super happy because things were about to get started, and he was telling me how much he misses me and he loves me, and I was waking up super happy and super excited, and I just went to the bathroom straight away to brush my teeth because I wanted to pack my bag to drive to the airport. And then when I looked into the mirror, I suddenly realized that this is not gonna happen today. And it was like I've been hit by a car. It hit me so badly. Um, yeah, so interesting stuff my brain does. Maybe it's some kind of coping mechanism to yeah to cope with all of this stuff, because for me all of the stuff that happened, it is like super traumatic. It is, like, seriously, especially packing and unpacking, and even for someone like me who is used to moving around like a lot and changing apartments like once or twice a year, um, this story has been way too traumatic for me. So yeah, my friends have been telling me you need to go back, and at some point I did listen, and they welcomed me here. I was living with them for a couple of months, like with a gay couple and one of their friends. She was living next door, and she had like a free room, and I could sleep in there. And they organized like some furniture for me that I could use and have. And that was super good. So it was good to be not alone, because like even when we went out to have some fun and have some drinks, I was just sometimes I wasn't there, or I started crying out of the middle of nowhere. It was good to have them. It's still good. I mean, I still have them, but not on a daily basis anymore. So I decided pretty soon that after my job started in February, that I really needed like my own space and my own apartment. So this is where I am now. Um, it's not the best. I mean, let's face it. I can be honest about that. It's good to have my own place, of course, but um, I also know that I don't want to live here any longer than necessary. Yeah. Uh, and the downside is that now I'm more alone than before. So what I'm trying to do is just to work. I work a lot because I was I was crying like the whole November when I was still in Oregon. I was crying the whole December, the whole January, and then I said to myself, okay, you need to stop because like in February your job starts. So I tried to manage crying and working, and that worked out like, yeah, let's say okayish, but not super good. Then I got my own apartment and it got worse. So then I decided, okay, then you just need to work more. So what happens now is that as soon as I get like, I don't know, 30 minutes of rest, when I finally have like this one moment where I'm not thinking about work, like Travis totally kicks in. Like instantly, that doesn't even have to be like a trigger, like a smell or some kind of music or whatsoever. Instantly, this whole fucking thing kicks in and I'm just crying like a little baby. And then I can't stop for the next 2 hours. So this is still like my kind of emotional state. And I hate it that this still happens. I mean, we already have like the end of May. Um, but I can't change it because I am the one who can't let go. I can't, and it's my personality. I just can't. And none of my friends is understanding that. When I even say that I still miss him and then that I love him and that I missed everything that I lost. I mean, it's not only that I lost like all my fucking money. I came back like totally broke, like totally ruined. But I also lost my husband, my dog, my house, my future bookkeeping career, my life in Oregon, like our future. I lost like a whole life. And that's super traumatic, even for, well, a strong person like me. I mean, that's what friends always tell me. Like that they admire me, some kind of for how strong I am, for how couraged, um, and how I always manage to make the best out of the worst situations. But honestly, I can tell you that even for me and with all my life history that I have, and I'm not only talking about this being trans, and then I have to cope with that. I mean, like my whole fucking life, since I was born in the 80s, my life has never been easy. I always learned how to manage stuff. But what happened back in Oregon, or since 2020, if you want it like that, this is even for a person like me, this is a little bit too much. I'm sure it helps that I have so many bad experiences in my life, so I should know how to cope with them. But it just takes forever. I can't leave it all behind. I can't let it go. So I even had contact with Travis like 2 times. One time it was good, one time it was bad. The result is no further contact. And I just can't let go. It is hard for me. And I'm heartbroken. I am. So this is my story. I don't feel like a strong, smart, sexy, single who is 39. I just don't. Not at the moment. It's nice if other people say all these things about me. And even at work, like everybody likes me and my work, and they all say it's so good that I'm there. And I get that, but it's pretty hard to now live a life that you don't want to live. Because I can't let go. I can't. I will. I know that. So don't comment on that. So I know. It just takes time, as always. I know myself. I have been with myself like for quite a while now, so I know how I work. It will take a while, and in the worst case, it would take me years to get over this. And this is what's so frustrating about this. I would love to be open for any new possibilities that there are in my life. I would love that because it would be helpful and it would help me heal Um, I just can't. I just can't. The people in my life who know me the longest, um, at least they understand a little bit what I'm talking about, because they say, well, Toby, as long as I know you, you have been talking about the US, and that it's like your absolute dream. So, and it's like I was so close, you know? I was already there. I was already there. But I think the last thing that I wanted to add, or that I would like to add to my story is, there's one trans-related thing that comes up now again that I also did not want to have in my life anymore. It's the fear of not being wanted as I am. This is a fear that settled in pretty soon after I arrived back in Germany, when I went online again on those sex dating app stuff whatsoever. Not that I did anything, it was just for my own self, just to get back out there and to tell people I'm back here. I loved Travis because he accepted me how I was, and I was okay as I was. And he always told me, well, Toby, if you ever decide you want to get like bottom surgery, I would support you, but let me tell you, you don't need it. And it made me feel so secure in myself, in my life, in my body, and everything. And now that I lost him, I feel like, how will I be able to ever find another gay guy who says that I'm okay as I am? So, yeah, it's just this fear is coming back, and this is only something that transgender people can understand. No one else can. No one else can. I'm sorry. So yeah, there are some of you out there who can relate to this kind of fear. And I know that I have many followers who are way younger than I am, especially thanks to you, that you are watching some, I'm sorry, but some older guy talking about all of his life drama, but as like, how do I say this? Also for the educational purpose, and I don't know, maybe also for the responsibility that I have if I talk about trans issues and other stuff. Let me tell you that you're not alone if you have feelings like that, and if you have a fear like that. It can happen to all of us, and it's totally okay to feel that. It's more important to talk about it and to say it out loud, because this is true and it is a reality in which we live. So if I go online in these dating apps, depending on to how many guys I decide to talk, I can be 100% sure that 9 out of 10 are saying they don't want to meet me. Not at all. Because I don't have a penis. So that's the reality. Well, at least here in this city where I live. Hamburg was more open. Now I'm back in Kiel, which is still like a big city, but way too small, way too intolerant, when it comes to a point like this. So yeah, and many of you have like the same experiences, even if it's like with meetings in reality or in clubs, bars, whatsoever. And all I can do is just every day again try to overcome this fear and to go out into this world and tell the fucking world that I'm valid and that I'm good as I am, because I still haven't decided what I want to do. But for now, I still stick with, well, I have to be okay with who I am. The thing right now that is not okay is like my heart and my emotional state, but my body is totally okay. I hope that once I feel better, that I will become more open just to go out with a friendly smile and just to try to meet people. Yeah, as we say in Germany, other mothers also have beautiful sons. Andere Mütter haben auch schöne Söhne. That's what we say. So hopefully one day I will meet other mothers and their beautiful sons. Okay, thanks for watching. That was, I don't know, that was like a really long video and I was crying way more than I wanted to. I've got a couple of other things still planned because I want to talk about some business stuff that I'm doing right now. But for now, okay, just let's keep it with this. Again, thanks for watching. You can comment on this, but you don't have to. I know it's a sad story, but that's life. Welcome to my life. All the drama, that's what people like to hear and see. Hopefully things will get better within the next months. And I will get back to you as soon as I can. Bye.